Hi there, welcome back to the Python Mastery Crash Course for Beginners. In the previous session, we looked at how to work with the comparison operators, where we looked at the less than, the greater than, the equal to, and very many other more. So in this one, we are going to focus on logical operators in Python, and the logical operators allow us to make decisions in our code, which is the backbone of all the programming logic. So logical operators are special keywords in Python that help us connect and compare different conditions. And they are crucial in decision-making structures like the if statements. There are three main logical operators in Python, and that is the AND, the OR, and the NOT. So I'm just going to go ahead and comment this as the main logical operators. So the first logical operator is the AND operator, and for the AND logical operator, both conditions must be true. So this is just going to be a precise comment. And on the other hand, we have the OR operator, whereby at least one of the conditions must be true. And then the other one is the NOT, and generally this reverses the truth value of a condition. It's more like negation if you have worked with Boolean algebra. So this reverses the truth value of a condition. So let's have a simple example of how the logical operators work. Actually, this is more like a basic one. So for example, if we had values like x such that x is a Boolean value that is true, and then y such that y is also a Boolean value that is false. So we are going to print a simple expression or simple condition such that we are working with the AND logical operator. So x and y, and we shall pass in the output. Then we can also pass in a simple one where we print x or y, and lastly we can print not x. So I'm going to go ahead and run the program precisely, and the way I'm running it, I'm actually accessing the main file. So since this is the file for logical operators, I'm going to go ahead and rename this to logical operators, then enter. So you can see that when we run the program, for the first condition we are having x and y, and whenever we work with a logical AND operator, it returns true if both values or if both conditions are true. So the fact that x is true and y is false makes this expression or this condition evaluate to false. And for the OR operator, it returns true for cases whereby at least one of the conditions are true. Now the fact that x is true, it's going to go ahead and print true regardless of the fact that y is false. So this will return true. And lastly, not x. So not x is more like a negation. For example, if the fact that x is true, that means that we have to reverse. So if x is true, then that means that the output is going to be false. So if you've worked with Boolean algebra, we have already seen that if we are working with the not operator, it's more like a negation. So it's just something that can always remind you of how to work with this. So that means that if y is false, then the negation or not y is going to be true. So let's have a more realistic or practical example of how the logical operators work. So this is going to be a practical example. And in this example, we are going to write a simple script that checks if a person can access a VIP section of a club based on their age and their membership status. Can just add some more insights. So with this program, we are going to work with it in a way that we prompt the user to enter their name and also pass in a value for their membership status, whereby someone can be a member or not. And basing on the information gotten from the user, then we can perform our different conditions on the data. So I'm going to create a first variable to cater for the age in a way that it's going to store the user's age value. So age is going to be assigned to the input function, and the fact that it's going to be a string, we have to cast it. So this is going to be input, and within this function we go ahead and say enter your age. And having created or declared that variable, we can also work with a new variable. So this variable can be, for example, is member instead of member, such that we also work with the input function and prompt the user to select a yes or a no. So this is going to be, are you a club member, such that the user either selects yes or no. And for this input, cases whereby the user is entering maybe the yes or a no in capital, I'm also going to ensure that we are converting the characters into a lowercase format. So the output of this function should be evaluated with whether it is equal to yes. So meaning that we expect a user to be a club member if they select yes, and then a no if they are not, or they do not belong to the club. For the conditions, we are going to work with them in such a case that, 1, if the user's age is greater or equal to 18, and the user is also a member, and his member is true, then we are going to print a simple message such that we welcome the user. So welcome to the VIP section, and else if the user's age is greater or equal to 18 and the user is not a member, so we have to work with the not, and not the is member variable. Then we shall go ahead and print a simple literal that you need to be a club member. You need to be a club member to access the VIP section. Then if both conditions are false, then we have to tell the user that, sorry, you must be 18 or older to enter the VIP section. Something precise as this. So in this program, we use the AND operator to ensure that the user meets both conditions, that is being 18 or older and a club member. So I'm going to go ahead and run the program and we see how it is going to work. So enter your age. So I'm going to enter 20 and I'm going to assume that I'm a club member. So are you a club member? And this is going to be yes. Then the fact that I am above 18 and I'm also a club member, then that means that I'm going to be welcomed to the VIP section. So this program is printing the first statement because both conditions are true for this if statement. The fact that the age is greater than 18 and the user is also a member That's why it's printing this statement. And let's try for cases whereby I am not a member. So the age still can, so this can be 18. And then, are you a member? No. So the fact that I'm not a member, the program is going to go ahead and execute the second statement, because for the first condition, the age is greater than, actually the age is equal to 18, which is true, but the is member is false. That means that since it is an AND logical operator, this is going to evaluate to false, meaning that it cannot print this statement. So it goes ahead and checks for the second condition, and the fact that the age is equal to 18 and the user is not a member, it's going to go ahead and now print this other condition or this other statement. And lastly, if we try to cater for cases whereby a user is below 18 and also they are not a member, so enter age, maybe the user is 16 and then they are not a member, so you can see that we are getting, sorry, you must be 18 or older to enter the VIP section. So generally, logical operators help you to control the flow of your program by making decisions based on multiple conditions. And I do believe that logical operators are very essential in making your program or your programs more dynamic and responsive. So you can always play around with different examples. You can also check out how to create a simple student grade system basing on some conditions, like the range, for example, from 80 to 100, then the user is assigned an A, then from 70 to, it depends anyway, but that is the best way to learn. So I hope you found this session insightful. Thanks for watching and see you again in the next session.